Well, let's understand the next few things about yoga and the alchemy of Tantra. So, the alchemy of Tantra that says everything is holy. There's no hyper concentrated holiness. There is nothing, it's a pathless path, as we discussed. You're not creating any illusion. There's, if one atom is holy, if the entire universe will be holy. If one atom in the universe is unholy, then how can the universe be holy? Try and understand this whole thing. This is how the process or the understanding of Tantra works. So these are two paths, yoga and Tantra. The Tantra could not be so appealing because of our crippled minds. But whenever there is someone who is healthy inside and not in chaos, Tantra has a beauty. Only he can understand what Tantra is, whose mind is not crippled. So yoga has become appealing to the world because of this reason. You give commandments, put them on a mat, and practice. Well, I mean, this modern days yoga is completely different. I have no idea what is happening there. It's just more of a fascinated. It's just we are chasing the fascination of a guru, of a teacher, of a studio, or something. We are habitually chasing the fascination. I'm not talking about here. We're talking about the differences in the philosophy, the idea, the process, the practice, and so on, the schools. Okay, this is more deeper aspect than what you do on a mat every day. That's completely different. Nobody is doing any yoga seriously. So if you go do things seriously, you will hit a wall. And you will have some experience. And that is dangerous, which anyway, we have never done that. Nobody has done the Tantra seriously, nor the yogas. Okay, so just making a yogi face and roaming around with a mat doesn't mean anything. So only he can understand the Tantra is who has non-crippled mind and who is not in chaos. So yoga has an easy appeal because of our disturbed minds in the world today. Remember this, ultimately your minds which makes anything attractive or unattractive. It is you who is the deciding factor. These approaches are different. I'm not saying that one cannot reach through yoga. One can reach through yoga also, but not through yoga which is prevalent. The yoga which is prevalent is not really yoga. Yeah, so I explained you why. But the interpretation of your diseased minds, what is prevailing to be yoga in the world today is just your diseased mind, which is perceiving in that direction. Yoga can be authentically an approach towards the ultimate. But that too is only possible when your mind is healthy. When your mind is not diseased and ill, the yoga takes a different shape altogether. It has its own beauty. For example, all the saints and the sages in the past, Mahavira, the Buddha, and so on. For example, Mahavira was a path of yoga. So he was not really suppressing sex. He got over with it. So he transcended it. So it's a different idea of how it happens with the beauty of mind. So look at your yogis, the fight apparent in their faces. Deep down, much turmoil always there. Right now they are like sitting volcanoes. You look at them. They can break down any point in time and probably commit murders or commit suicide. You can look in their eyes, in their faces, and you will feel it. Deep down somewhere, they have suppressed all their desires and they kind of accumulated all the diseases. They have not gone beyond. They have not gone anywhere beyond their own mat. In a healthy world where everyone is living his life authentically, individually, not imitating others, but living his own life in his own way, both are possible. He may learn the deep sensitivity which transcends desires. He may come to a point where all desires come to a futile and they drop out. So yoga can also lead to this. But to me, yoga will lead it in a same world as where Tantra can lead. Remember this. We need a healthy mind, a natural man, a natural mind. In that world where a natural mind is Tantra and yoga, both will lead transcendence of our own minds and desires. So in our so-called ill society, neither yoga or Tantra can do this, because if we choose yoga, we do not choose it because desires have become useless or no. They're still meaningful to us. So dropping them, suppressing them makes sense for us. If we choose Tantra, why we choose Tantra? Because we want to indulge into some activity which is more fascinating to us. So it's again the sick mind coming to effect. So there are two type of person, basically male and female. Okay, I do not mean biologically, but physically. For those who are to start with, yeah. So then, how do you choose your path? But psychologically, I'm talking about. For those who are psychologically basically male, who are aggressive, violent, extroverted, yoga can be their path. This is how the scriptures, the schools explained or guided people to be. For those who are basically feminine, receptive, passive, non-violent, Tantra was their path. So you may note it. For Tantra, there's always all the Durga, Ma Kali, Bhairavi, or the feminine deities are very significant. In yoga, you never hear mentioned any feminine deities. Tantra has feminine deities always, and yoga has male gods, Shiva, Anjaneya, and so on and so forth. So this is how it is. I mean, there's no hard and fast. Eventually, there are many schools who blend these approaches and then they sort of created and offered to their own students. It depends on Guru how he teaches their own people. So yoga is outgoing energy and Tantra is introverted. So this is how you choose either yoga or Tantra. But what happens is, we just confuse people, that we are just in a mess. That is why nothing helps us. On the contrary, everything disturbs. Yoga will disturb you. Tantra will also disturb you. Every medicine is going to create turmoil in you or create illness in you because we are already diseased in mind. So the result of whoever his choice is going to be illness. So I do not mean that through yoga you cannot reach. I emphasize Tantra only because we are going to try and understand what Tantra is, because here in the next, all these 112 meditations come from the practice of alchemy of Tantra. So I thought to give a brief about the best of the both worlds of yoga and Tantra. So the choice is up to you. You have to work on your mind, clear the obstacles, and then choose a path. Or rather, live what you want to do. All right. Thank you very much. Hope this was helpful. We'll next move on to our next methodology or the practice of meditation, the technique. Okay. This is enough for today. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat.